Good morning, Year 6. Happy Wednesday. It's the 6th of May 2020. Another video now then, looking at the next set of MyMaths work that I've given you. Some really good scores come in from Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday's work. So that was reading pie charts and also arithmetic practice. Some really good scores, as I just said, lots of green percentages, which is excellent. Remember, if you get below 70%, would be expecting you to do it at least 2 or 3 times. And if you're still below 70, then you need some extra help. So go back and do the lesson again or message me. But I would be expecting at least 70% from you guys. So what's next on MyMaths then? Well, like I said a couple of weeks ago, we're very nearly at the end of the curriculum of what you need to know for Year 6. We are constructing pie charts today, so that's making pie charts, accurately drawing them. And I've also set you another arithmetic style practice as well, seeing as next week would have been the week that you would have been doing your SATs tests. So some practice for arithmetic as well. The arithmetic, as you will have seen, involves questions this time looking like this. Okay, have a pen and paper or pencil and paper to go. Remember, on these questions, don't get caught out just because the answer box is here. You could rewrite it by putting 54,146 minus 429 equals something. You wouldn't do the inverse for that question, so don't do the inverse just because it's the other way around. This one, however, you do need to do the inverse because you've got something added to that is 6,400. Something added to 342 is 400, so you would do the inverse. Okay. Then you've got some questions involving multiplication and division, timesing fractions, dividing fractions. Remember, dividing fractions, KCF, it's like Kentucky Fried Chicken, except it's Kentucky Chicken Fried. You keep it, you change it, you flip it, because dividing by 2 is the same as timesing by a half. Dividing by 4 is the same as timesing by a quarter. And if I just point this out, dividing by 2 and dividing by 2, well, that's the same as dividing by 4, isn't it? Okay, so bear those in mind. Dividing by 10, remember all the digits. If you're dividing, move one place to the right by 10 because there's 1 0. And obviously this is squared, so you times it by itself. Then you've got some order of operations questions where if we were in the classroom, I would say to you, what do you need to think like? And you would say, I need to think like a calculator. So you would write out for every question D, M, A, S. And you would go through, is there any brackets, is there indices, is there a division or a multiplication? So here we do have a division and a multiplication, so I would do whichever one comes first, and the same with addition and subtraction as well. And then you've got some long and short multiplication questions, and you can tick these red buttons here and that brings up the working out space for you, but I'll just do it on a pen and paper. It's easier. So, constructing pie charts then. I'm going to go through this as quickly as I can. You know that a circle has how many degrees in it? Well, it has 360 degrees. That's key for this. Okay, there are 360 degrees inside that circle. Remember, this is called the circumference. This would be the radius, and my green line would be my diameter. And the diameter is 2 lots of the radius, or the radius is half of the diameter. So, well, here we go. I've got a pie chart then, and we know that there are 360 degrees in total in that pie chart. So if I had 2 people represented in my pie chart, we know that each sector, we call that a sector, each sector would be 180 degrees. If I had 3 people, as shown in my pie chart here, each sector would be 120 degrees, okay, because you're splitting that 360 degrees into however many people you've got. If you had 4 people, well, you know you would split 360 degrees by 4, which would be 90 degrees. So your pie chart would look like that. You'd have 4 right angles in it, okay? And so on, okay? So you can then see that obviously 5 would be 72, 60, 45, 40, 36 for 10 people. So in other words, is there a formula, is there a mathematical formula that we can follow to work out the number of degrees for each thing that needs to be? In this case, it's people. Well, yes, there is. So the number of degrees that each person represents, or each ice cream represents, or each football team represents, whatever, would be 360 degrees split by the number of things you're representing. So if I show you that here for this, we know that x, so the size of each sector, would be, well, how many have we got? We've got 360 degrees, and we're splitting it by n, the number of things. Well, in this case, there's 2 people, which gives us 180. If I go for the 10 people one, okay, we know that x in degrees would be 360. It's always 360 degrees for the pie chart. And then how many things have we got? Well, I've got 10 people, so I'd split it into 10, which gives me 36 degrees. So each person represents 36 degrees, okay? So that's really quite straightforward. Now, this is a question you've got, and it says something to do with people's favourite football teams. And it wants to present this in a pie chart, okay, and it's shown at the moment as a frequency table. So 3 people said Liverpool, shockingly, 7 people Birmingham City, Manchester United 4 people, 2 people for Arsenal, 8 people for Newcastle. I'm pretty sure Robbie would have been one of those Manchester United people, Johnny possibly one of those Arsenal people. Not good. So, okay, how do we work out what each person is then as degrees? Okay, or I should say what each football team now is in degrees. Well, I just showed you that the number of degrees for each football team in this case would be 360 degrees, because that's the total number of our pie chart, split by the number of things we've got. Well, how many things do we have here? Well, I've got 3 there, I've got 7 there, I've got 4 there, I've got 2 there, and I've got 8 there. How many does that give me in total? Well, I've got 10, 14, 7 added to 14 is 21, and that's 24. So the total number in my survey here of people's favourite football team is 24. I asked 24 people. So to work out what each one then represents, I'm going to do 360 divided by 24, which is 15 degrees. So each one person represents 15 degrees. Now, okay, if each one person represents 15 degrees, then I know that I've got 3 people that said Liverpool. So I don't want 15 degrees for Liverpool, I want 3 lots of 15, which is 45. Okay, 7 people said Birmingham, so I'd do 7 lots of 15. 4 lots of 15 for Manchester United, so obviously that would be 60 degrees, okay? Arsenal 2, well 2 lots of 15 is 30, so it'll be only 30 degrees for Arsenal, and 8 lots of 15 for Newcastle, okay? So that's then telling me in degrees how much each sector of the pie chart needs to be. Okay, so here are my degrees, which we've just worked out. Okay, and now this is going to be quite tricky because I'm trying to do this here. I'm now going to draw my pie chart. So obviously, first thing to do is just draw a circle. Okay, just do a circle, and I always start by putting this line in, the radius. I always go to the center and just do that, and that's where I'll start with my pie chart. Now I'm going to start with the very beginning. I'm going to start with Liverpool, and Liverpool needs to be 45 degrees. Now remember, I used the 0 that's sat on the line, so that's not this 0 here because that's not sat on the line. I'm going to use this 0 here, and I'm going to go all the way round to 45, which is there. I'm going to then use my pen to put a little dot there. I'm then going to move it across, and I know then that with my line, it needs to go from there to there, which is 45, and then I can put in there Liverpool in red. Okay, now I then have to do this. Now on a paper I would turn the paper, but I can't do that, so I'm going to rotate my protractor around. Now I need to do 105 degrees. Now I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do 105 from here. Okay, I'm not going to go all the way around to 105 from here, because that would include Liverpool. We're not including Liverpool. This is a new one. So I'm going to rotate my protractor around like this, and I need to do 105 degrees from this top Liverpool line, which is, remember the 0 on the line, all the way around to 105 is there. So again, I put my red line like this, and then I would move my protractor off. Okay, and I would then go from there, make sure that's about right, yeah, okay, and then I would do that, that's Birmingham City. Now, from there, I then need to line up my protractor again, put it on the very centre, and remember, you need to rotate your protractor round. Okay, you need to rotate it round to go to the top of Birmingham City. This is where I would rotate the paper around, but I can't do that. And I need to do Manchester United is 60 degrees. So up to my 60, which is there, Okay, put your little line again, move the protractor and draw your line from there, the centre, and then that would be what we would say is Manchester United. Okay, Man U. And then I do the same again. Remember, have the protractor in the very centre, line it up, rotate it round so it's sat on the top of Manchester United's line, and then I would do 30 degrees now for Arsenal, which is there. Okay, that's 30 degrees. So again, I just put my line like that. Use a ruler from the centre, make sure you go through it, which is there. So that then is Arsenal. And then this here is Newcastle, because that's the final angle, which would be about 120. And if I measure that angle from here and I go round, okay, it would be, you can see from 0 all the way around, it's pretty much 120. Okay, so that's how it works. Now, really quickly then, because I'm running out of time, Freya worked out how to spend money, spend her money on holiday. We first of all need to work out how many pounds she's got. 17, add 21, add 36, add 46 gets me to 120. Now I've changed the number here because otherwise it gave me a decimal. Some of the MyMaths questions could give you a decimal, in which case just round them to the nearest whole and that will work. So we know then that each pound or each thing is going to have to be 360 divided by 120, which is obviously 3 degrees. So then I would work out, well, I would do 3 lots of 46, which is 138 degrees, 3 lots of 36, so 36 times that by 3 is 108 degrees, 3 lots of 21 is obviously 63, and 3 lots of 17 is 54, and if I add those up, it gets me to 360. So, first things first, again, draw your circle, put your radius in, and the first angle for food and drink, she's going to spend 46 pounds, which is 138 degrees. So, with this, I go round, zeros on the line, all the way to 138, which is there. Okay, so that would be my angle of 130 or 137, but 138 is fine, it's pretty much there. Okay, then from there, I would draw my line. I'm just going to speed us up a bit. Okay, and then from there I need to do 138 and then it is 108, so I go round again to 108, make sure the zero is on the line. 108 is about there. Okay, so again, put your little line like that. Then rotate the protractor around. You would join it up, but I'm speeding us up here because we're running out of time. So the next one is 63. So I need to go from 0 all the way around to 63 degrees, which is zeros on the line. 63 is there. So I would put my little line here. That'll do, and then I'm going to rotate my protractor around from there again, because that should now be about 54, which it pretty much is. Okay, so I'm going to now join them up with a ruler. So that's the first one, that's the second one, that one as well. So then drawing it in here, obviously that's food and drink. This here is entertainment, this here is presents for her family, and that is day trips. And obviously you can colour them in and colour code them and put a little key on there of what each one represented. So you could put yellow equals day trips, for example, as a key. Okay, now I've whizzed through that, but hopefully it does make sense. Have a fantastic long weekend. Good luck with the MyMaths. Use paper working out. I know it's difficult to do online, but just give it your best go. I'm expecting some pretty good scores on those. Your next video from me will be on Monday. Okay, some of you, I will be joining you for the Zoom meeting, so I look forward to seeing you in the Zoom meeting, but I can't do Mr. Smith's class because I already have something else on, unfortunately. I have another meeting to be in, but hopefully we'll see you all soon. Anyway, I look forward to seeing your scores. Have a lovely weekend. Enjoy the sunshine.